Okay, time to attempt rehydrating some of this hamburger stew that I made. This is just a little bit left over that wouldn't fit in my jars. I got 2 half-gallon jars here full of hamburger stew, and if I shoved them in there they would fit. You know, like you can see down the sides here, there's a little bit of space there, but it takes a little bit of getting to get these things to all fit in here. Like there's a big chunk of space right there that I missed, but it's all good. Anyway, and I broke my bowl yesterday, so we're gonna use the this thing instead. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna see. I can probably pour this in like so. That's not the most elegant way of doing it, but made a mess. Alright. And I don't know how much water this is going to take, but we're going to pour a little bit of cold water in here and see how it comes back to life. Start with that amount there. That might have been too much water. Okay. I'll let that sit for a moment. In the meantime, we've got some peas left over too that didn't quite fit. I got 2 pounds of peas in a quart jar. And I figure I'm going to eat a few here. So let's take some peas and... oh, I'll eat them all. No, we don't have any leftovers sitting around. 1 second here. I'm curious how quickly the peas are going to wake up moisture, because the centers were a little hard when I was was a little crunchy when I was eating them plain, or just plain freeze dried. They're still good, but let's see if this is changing me. No, the centers are still a little crunchy, so this might take a couple minutes for it to rehydrate. Kind of hard to tell now, but prior to that, well, you can see on that one kind of that the case is kind of split on them. But now that they're wet, it's kind of hard to see them, but you can see a couple splits on some of them. So hopefully the water's getting into them and rehydrating. Oops. Now back to the hamburger stew. Looking a little bit better. I guess we're going to do a taste test here. Seems to rehydrate pretty nice looking. Let's see how it turns out. Yeah, it's a little wet. I put too much water in it, but it's not too bad. There's a couple edges of potatoes were still a little crunchy, but yeah, again, we'll definitely do in a pinch if you're hungry and don't have a ways to cook. But I bet this would definitely benefit if you were to heat it up slowly in a pan of water or in a skillet, you know, and just slowly introduce water to it and let it simmer a little bit. But definitely not too shabby. I'm not gonna lie, so far, I mean, this would probably benefit longer if it, or better if it were to have sat longer, but fresh food, you know, right out of a skillet, just making it definitely is better. But this still tastes, I'd say, almost 95% of what it was when I first made it. But it still tastes very filling. I mean, I'm not gonna lie about that. Very filling, has all the original flavors. It's just not quite as good as fresh, but it's still pretty good. Let's check these peas here. Yep, the centers are still a little crunchy. So I have a feeling that peas are going to be something you're going to have to let sit for a while. Let them rehydrate well. So we're going to do that, but we're going to end the video here. But it was pretty good though. Pretty good. So it's nice to have a supply of food that doesn't require refrigeration or freezer. Well, in frozen peas case, frozen, so I don't have to keep these in the freezer. And they taste pretty good outside of the crunchy centers, which are starting to soften a little bit, but this is going to take time. So, see ya.